Hello everyone, how is everyone? Tonight it's Wednesday. Does not feel like Wednesday. I keep thinking that it is like Tuesday or Monday or Thursday, like literally any day except Wednesday, but it's Wednesday. And I just got back from dinner with friends, which was very nice. Had some very delicious fish tacos, which I haven't had fish tacos in a minute, so that was delicious. Tonight is going to be our vent and advice time stream. I typically do these the first Monday of every month, but I was gone the first Monday of this month because it was July 3rd and everyone was celebrating the 4th of July if you're American. So I was gone and then I totally forgot about it. And then this last Monday, I totally forgot about it. So, you know, here we are. So it's Wednesday, so we're not doing it on our usual day, but we will still be doing things. We currently do not have a lot of submissions, but if you'd like to submit something, you simply just have to do advice. Big forget moment. I've had so much stuff that I'm working on. I'm doing like my own content full time, as well as doing content for other people. As Cashin knows, I'm editing for a couple of people right now for both work and other people's channels. So, and I have some other projects coming in. I have commissions that I have to do for drawing. I have someone that wants me to make a website for them, which is great. I'm so glad that I have things to do, but it's a lot. So, and you know, I'm also redoing my kitchen and I'm going to be gone every single weekend. I will be gone or having some sort of event going on until the middle of August. And it'll be the third weekend of August that I will finally have nothing planned. And the technically the second week of September is when I have stuff planned again. So I have a feeling I'm not going to have a weekend off for like, you know, 6 weeks. And then I might just have 1 weekend off and I will likely have something else planned after that. So it's been busy. Brain forgot about advice time. That doesn't sound like much. Oh yeah. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. But I hope everyone is doing well. Again, feel free to hit that advice time form. It is anonymous. We do not have a lot of submissions tonight. I know I said if we didn't have a lot, I might do some Honkai. But again, I've been very busy. So if it ends up being a shorter stream, I might just have the stream be a shorter stream. I know Nate used to join us, so if Nate is lurking in the background and you would like to join, Nate or Lifram, you guys hung out with us one time to do this. You could come in and you could join if you would desire. I do not mind having someone else pop in. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to push. I want to turn down my music. Hopefully that's a good background. Is that too quiet for music for you guys? Or is that okay music for you guys? For me, it just sounded loud to me because I was talking over it, but I can always just turn down my desktop volume instead of the actual... You can't hear it? Okay. How about there? Is this a good volume? This is the barely... Really? It's that quiet for you guys? How's that? Do you like this volume? Is this too much? For me, it's quite loud. But like I said, I can just turn it down on my end and it shouldn't be too much for you guys. Is this still good? I turned it way down on my desktop, but that should still send the volume through to you guys just fine. Let me know if this is good level of me talking and music volume. Because for me, if I hear music too loud while I'm talking about something or reading something, I'm not going to be able to do it. No one's saying anything. Okay, cool. We'll keep it here then. Okay. Once again, the command is just advice. You can fill it out anonymously. We only have a few submissions right now. Where did you get fish tacos? Where was it called? Lone Oak Grill, I think is what it was called. Yep, Lone Oak Grill. It was technically just an appetizer, so it's just 3 fish tacos, with no sides or anything since it was supposed to be an appetizer, but then I got a side of mac and cheese with it, because you can just get sides separately, so if you want to know Cashin, that is where I went for dinner. They're very good. Again, it's only 3, and then like no fries or anything with it, but you can just order a side separately because it was an appetizer. Hello Denise, welcome in. How are you? Also, Crescent, I saw your message earlier. Sorry I didn't say anything. Thank you for the lurk. I hope you have good night's rest. I know you said you're just popping in to say hi. I didn't miss that. I was just going through updates of other stuff while I was like going live. I did see your message, so thank you. And on that note, with that lovely burp, we'll get started with our first one. And you can ask questions about anything. It can be health related. A lot of times it's relationship related. Anything that you want advice on. Like, how do I pick my favorite color? I don't even know what I'd get for that. But you know, like it doesn't have to be serious. You guys can post whatever you want. I will screen them to make sure there's nothing like offensive or stupid or dumb. But how do I deal with RJ all the time? He's nice to me. I don't really have to deal with him. I'm going to a Ghibli concert Friday. That sounds fucking nice. I'm excited for you. That sounds fun. Is it like a orchestra type thing? I think me and RJ did something similar to that. It was like an anime orchestra thing. It wasn't really an orchestra. I think it was more of like a small group. I think there was 8 instrumentalists. And they did different anime music, and it was really cool. And it was like a candlelit, small theater setting. It was dope. Anyway, first question of the night. I've been thinking about doing content creation in the form of streaming on Twitch, and maybe doing some clips and highlights and uploading them to YouTube. I don't know where to start. Any advice on how to get started? Any word of advice to get me started on the right path? So, as always, there's gonna be like some basic stuff you have to do. OMG, that's what, yeah, so we went to the same one. Yeah, it's a string quartet. Yep. It was really cool. It was really nice. You're gonna enjoy yourself. We liked it a lot. I don't know if you're of age, but we got to get like mixed drinks and stuff with it, but it was really nice. You're gonna enjoy it. Ours wasn't the Ghibli themed one, but I've seen the Ghibli themed one. Anyway, the question. So there's going to be some basic things that you have to do. And again, that's, you know, make a Twitch account, make a YouTube account. I would use OBS. OBS is going to be, so it's literally just OBS. It's the streaming software that you can use. It's going to be a little bit overwhelming at first, just because there's like a lot of different options in OBS, for like different settings and stuff you can do. But there's a lot of really simple YouTube tutorials. I've walked a few people how to do some basic shit in OBS, so if you're someone that knows me, you can message me. I only say if you know me because I have like closed DMs on a lot of stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be willing to help you figure out your OBS. I had a 2-hour call with someone just adjusting my microphone settings in OBS, so there's definitely people who would be willing to help you set it up. I would help you figure out some basic stuff with OBS. Like I said, I've set it up for my friends before. But those are kind of the basics of like where to get started, is to have a Twitch account, have a YouTube account, have OBS, and then have some basic equipment. So a lot of streamers will start with just a headset and a mic. Like you don't need to buy a $200 mic. This one was handed down to me from a friend. I think I bought it from him for like $50. Originally it's probably like $180. You can get some pretty cheap mics. I got a little, I don't have it next to me. I got this little, one of those really fluffy looking mics for $20 from Target, and it works really well. I use it for my cooking streams. Only thing with that type of mic is it's going to pick up everything. So it picks up a lot of background noise, and it picks up a lot of noise from far away. So it's a really nice mic, but it will pick up a lot of sound, and there's things you can do to fix that. But there's cheap mics. My whole point with that is that there's cheap microphones and cheap equipment that you can get. Check your local marketplace listings. I know I'm a boomer. I'm on Facebook. But you can get a lot of shit off Facebook for very cheap. like for my friends that are smashers that may or may not be in chat, CRT TVs here are anywhere from free to $50, which any place that has a lot of retro gaming, that's really fucking cheap. So good evening, welcome in Wolf Creek Observatory. We're doing advice time, and I can put it in chat if people don't want to type it themselves. If you'd like advice for something, you can fill out the form. We're talking about getting started with streaming and content creation. But yeah, there's some basic stuff like that, like getting a microphone, getting a webcam. There's different things you could do for lighting. I have a ring light that my webcam is mounted to, and I think it's just I think the actual name of the ring light is just like a selfie ring light, because it had a little remote it came with that Bluetooth connected to your phone, so you could take a picture of yourself from far away. That was probably like $20-25. There's a lot of things that you could do to MacGyver your room that are very cheap. And you can do it on a laptop too. If you stream off a laptop, I would recommend getting an Ethernet cable. You might have to get a converter cable to plug into like a USB to Ethernet. Words. You get what I mean. Because you're going to want a direct connection to your Wi-Fi internet source, because your stream is just going to go so much better. Even if you're on a laptop, it's going to make a difference. Hello, Yang. Welcome in. Because when I do my cooking streams, I have like a 30-foot Ethernet cable that I connect from my kitchen to our router for a direct internet connection, so I don't drop frames or anything while I'm doing my cooking stream, because there's so much shit connected to my laptop that it will just crash. So having that direct connection is also important if you're on something like a laptop. You don't even need to start with a really huge PC. Does it help? Yes, immensely. It's nice to have two screens, because I have all of my back-end stuff on one and then all of my gaming stuff on the other. It is nice. It's not required. You can also get laptop monitor extenders that Bluetooth plug into your laptop, and it basically is like a little extension screen that you could pull out to the side that you could put like chat and all your stuff, other stuff there if you really wanted to use just your laptop. And again, those are pretty inexpensive as well. There's a lot of things that you can do to maximize your setup for cheap without spending like $5,000 on a whole nice PC, whatever. You can do that. Like, if you have that money and you want to splurge, fucking go for it. It's your money. But I know a lot of smaller streamers and people just starting out don't necessarily have the means to have all that really fucking nice shit. All of my stuff is handed me down. All of it. My PC is not mine. It was my friend's, and then he just wiped it and gave it to me. It's probably already like 8 or 9 years old, so it's not a new one. So like, yeah, you can, there's a lot of things you could do to either get hand-me-down, lightly used stuff, cheap stuff, whatever. That is all like the technical side of it. As far as the growth aspect of it, biggest piece of advice I got from someone that I still kind of fuck up sometimes and don't always even follow myself: do what you enjoy. Yes, you can also use your phone as a webcam. You are right, Denise. You are right. You can use your phone as a webcam. And your phone actually has a really, really nice camera on it, usually too. I'll type in a thing in chat. Irian. You can see it right here too. It's, if you're on like one Wi-Fi, you just have to have your phone and your computer on the same Wi-Fi, and it'll wirelessly make your phone a webcam. So you don't even need a cord. And it works quite well. I've used it before. It's really, really nice. So that is also an option too. So then you just have to prop your phone up somewhere, and then that could be your webcam. But otherwise, like I was saying before, do what you enjoy. You don't have to just play games. You don't just have to play the popular games. Don't worry about your view count. Don't worry about any of that. You're going to have the most success and the most fun with what you're doing if you're doing what you enjoy. I started streaming to help my art stuff grow. So I actually used to do a lot of art streams. Sometimes I do miss them. I still really do enjoy gaming. I enjoy the games that I play. I enjoy interacting with chat for the games that I do. But I started as an art streamer. And that was still really fun too. I liked doing that a lot. I did that so I could sell more artwork, and it worked. I sold more artwork when I was streaming my artwork. I also don't have enough time in my schedule to do a bunch of hand-drawn commissions right now, so that's also kind of why I'm not doing it, is because I really don't want any other extra work right now. My commissions are pretty much closed unless I'm already working on something for you. Also, welcome in, Jonathan. But yes, make sure you do something you enjoy. No matter what the game is, if it's ASMR, if it's art, if it's music, if it's reading stories, like whatever you like, you can do. It's allowed and it's possible to do on Twitch. So make sure you're doing what you're like. Don't just play the games that everyone else is playing for a quick bump in viewership that's probably not gonna last. You're gonna enjoy streaming and probably stay a lot more consistent with it if you're just doing what you like. And then another piece of advice I would say on a technical side of stuff is learn how to use some Adobe products or free versions of them, of how to do some basic video editing if you want to get on YouTube and start doing clips and shorts and reels. Both Instagram and TikTok have pretty great just built-in things for editing your own stuff. But I know going from stream, which is this shape, to going to like a short form video, which is this shape, you know, goes from landscape to portrait, can sometimes fuck things up. So knowing how to do some basic video editing for that might also make your life easier, just so that it's the right way. It doesn't have to be that way. There's people that have had success just having a landscape video of their clip in a portrait format. It's not impossible, but you know, I'm sure most people want to optimize it. So learning some basic video editing, which you can do on YouTube University. I believe there's a channel called the Premiere Gals or the Premiere Girls or something. They do very extensive work of how to use Adobe Premiere. Adobe products are expensive. Again, there's a lot of free versions of stuff that you can use. Or if you're a student, utilize that, get a student discount, or use your lab on campus where it's free. That will save you a lot of money as well if you're a student. If you're not a student, I'm sorry. We just kind of get fucked without student discounts. But my Adobe used to be so much cheaper, and now it's a lot more expensive. For me, it's worth it because I use it every single day for my job too. But for that, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was extensive. If anyone else in chat, I know a lot of people in chat are streamers. If you have advice for someone that is new to streaming, feel free to shout it out. Or like how to kind of get going. It can be intimidating, but the most important part is to have fun. And if you don't have the capacity to do both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, because it is a lot of work, it's okay to just do Twitch. It's okay to just do Twitch and then maybe save the clips for later. I keep, many of you know, some of you might not know, I keep a notebook next to me in which I have dates and timestamps of like funny things that happen on stream that I will go back and clip at a later date to turn into short form videos later. So that's a thing I do too. If you ever see me stop after something funny happens or witty or whatever to write something down on the side, I'm writing down the timestamp of that stream so I can go back and clip it. And then I'll make it into short form videos. Because I don't have a short form video editor. I don't even have a full form video editor anymore. I don't have anyone that runs my social medias. I pretty much run this show 100% by myself, in that I do all of my short form videos. I get them posted every single day on most of my platforms. The only one that isn't daily is TikTok. TikTok, I upload them as I edit them, basically. Wall break. Girl bossing. Fuck, you have no idea. I literally spent 8.5 hours today just editing videos. And it was all mine. I was so behind on my own stuff because I have so many projects for everyone else, but I was like, my YouTube is hurting because I haven't been able to like get any shit done. So I'm gonna get a bunch of shit done today. And I did. I did like 10 different short form videos, and then I'm like almost done with a full video that I'm gonna have come out Friday. I should be able to finish it tomorrow, and it shouldn't take too long to finish it. But then once I finish that, I can focus on everything else and not worry about my channel anymore, because that was stressful, knowing that it was slacking and it's important to me. It's a lot of work. You also don't have to post daily if you're new. That is a grind that I have put on myself, to post daily on all of my things. Okay. Next question. Again, if you would like to submit to the form, there it is there. This one is very open-ended and very hard to answer. Creating a schedule and setting personal goals is really important so you don't get burnt out or sidetracked. Yes, that is also important. That's important for like a lot of things in your life, not just streaming. Any kind of goal you have in your life, that's important. And it's important to take breaks for yourself too. I try to stream every night around 8 p.m. Central. I try to stream every single night. I didn't last night because I wanted to go to my fiance's softball game. Like, it's also important to know to take breaks for yourself. Truth posts 4 to 5 times a day for shorts and videos. Yeah, so 1, does he have an editor? 2, that's all he does. I do other shit too. Not that that's still not hard, but I'm basically editing for 4 different accounts right now. Did he win? Oh yes, RJ did win his softball game. They won. They were happy because the other team was kind of a bunch of douche canoes. So they were happy to beat them. And they were really fucking awful. But anyway, RJ did win his game. PogChamp. On the note of RJ, which I'm going to use it as an example in this next one again is a difficult question, and anyone that wants to have an input can. It may be difficult. How to know she is the one. So you can ask a lot of people this question, and it's probably going to be a different answer for every single person. I remember me and RJ's first date. I remember we went bowling. And I remember looking at him and having the very distinct thought to myself, this is going to be my last first date I ever have. I literally knew from that moment, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to marry this man. There wasn't anything specific that he did. It was no specific one thing he did. It wasn't because he was really cute. It wasn't like, there was no like one thing. It was just, I was just standing there and I just like got this gut feeling, and I was just like, that's it. This is it. And has it been perfect this whole time? No, obviously every relationship has ups and downs, different things happen. But like I knew, and now we're engaged 5 years later, almost to the day. July 5th was our very first date. So almost to the day. It's been 5 years. Can I have RJ's Riz? You'll have to ask him his secrets. But I remember telling that to my friend, and he said, you know, I had the same feeling about my wife. He met his wife. I don't remember exactly what their first date or time meeting was. I think they were literally just at a party. And he's like, I remember looking at her and being like, I'm going to marry this woman. And so that's a hard thing to describe because I don't know if I have the words to describe that exact feeling. And I know you probably hate the answer. You just know. Because there's a lot of guys I met that was just like, oh, this is the one. But it wasn't always like that. With RJ, it was like that. Not upon the very first time I met him, because I had met him before our first date. But our first date, where it was like, we both are acknowledging that we like each other and want to date each other. We are going on a date. We are not officially dating, but we are going on a date. That first time of us being like, yeah, we're gonna like see how this works. That is when I was like, yeah, that's it. So for me, it was just like, I just knew. For my friend, same thing for him. He was like, I just knew. But I would say some general green flags are, it's easy to communicate with them. So you're not afraid to tell them things that are bothering you or upsetting you. They don't get mad when you tell them things that are bothering or upsetting you. They communicate well with you. They stay calm. They're rational. They care about you. They do things that you like to enjoy. And again, this is all vice versa too. You have to also be able to put this back to that person. You have similar goals and interests. Communication, such a huge thing. Being able to communicate anything that you feel to someone else, and they can take that and reciprocate it or understand it or be with you. Boundaries are shared and respected. Yes, Chad is giving a lot of good green flags. This doesn't necessarily mean that they are the absolute one, but these are a lot of good green flags in a relationship. But yes, boundaries are shared and respected. You have similar values and goals in life. You don't have to like the same things, but in general, your person is probably going to be interested in the same things that you are, just because that's how humans are. Obviously, opposites attract, but I would say I'm more chaotic good, maybe chaotic neutral, and I would say RJ is like lawful good. But, you know, it depends. Yeah, anyway. Opposites attract. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really depends. I would say me and RJ are sort of opposites, but we also like a lot of the same things. If they have 14-star Ultra Vegito Blue, that's a green flag. He's so deeply and lawful good at, right? Isn't he? I wasn't kidding. He is lawful good, and I feel like I'm chaotic neutral. I could really swing either way between evil and good. It kind of depends on the situation, but yeah. In that way, we're opposites, but that's a hard question to answer because it's different for everyone. Yeah, I can't really think of any other examples other than, you know, making sure there's green flags. Time is also another thing. Obviously, some people can get married and like be ready to go in a really short period of time. That's great. I think psychologically speaking, I remember reading something, and I can't verify if this was like scientifically accurate or proven or whatever. Just a thing I read that it takes 4 years to really get to know everything about someone. So if after 4 or 5 years you're still uncertain, it might just not work out, you know? But usually at that time, you're pretty certain. I mean, usually even after like a year or two, you're probably pretty certain. I've had relationships that were that long that did end. So it's not like after 1 or 2 years, it's like, yeah, okay, everything's perfect. But that is just a statistic that I've read before, that it takes 4 years to get to know someone, to truly get to know everything about someone. I hope you guys liked that. I just ate dinner. Here is another one that might be kind of difficult to answer. How do you be more vulnerable to your partner? I think now that you mentioned that, she might be the one for me. Aw. You're so cute, Zahir. Pulled a Vex with that burp? Thank you. I also just hit my microphone. I apologize if that was loud. Again, feel free to take your time. But yes, how do you be more vulnerable to your partner? This is again going to be different for every single person. Waiting for my women. You'll get there, Jonathan. I promise. It'll happen. Same, brother. But to be more vulnerable with your partner, I would say is just also something that takes practice. There's not just like one strict answer like, oh, if you do this, you'll be more vulnerable. It's something that will take practice, and it's okay to start small. It's okay to start with small things, saying things like, I like when you hold my hand. That can be a vulnerable thing to say for some people. Or I don't like when you do this. That can be a vulnerable thing to say to some people. I would say, again, it's okay to start small and take practice with learning how to say or feel vulnerable things. Or even just like, if you are feeling vulnerable, just saying, I feel vulnerable right now. John installed Bumble. That's where I found my partner. Saying, hey, look, there you go, John. Two people right there. What's funny is I was on Tinder and RJ was on Bumble, and we were both looking for people to date, and both of us gave up on the app and said, I'm done with dating apps. And I was never on Bumble, and he was never on Tinder, so we would have never met each other. But I did have 2 very long relationships that started on Tinder before Tinder was only hookups. It was still mostly hookups when I was using it, but now I feel like that's only hookups. Bumble, I feel, is like a little bit more serious. Anyway, but yeah, I think just starting with even just saying, I feel vulnerable right now. If your partner's trying to ask you something that makes you feel vulnerable, or doing things that make you feel vulnerable, just saying that and admitting it may be a first step. I'm always so worried about trying apps. Yeah, it can be a shit show. I know for a lot of my friends and I, when we were using dating apps, most of my friends are in relationships or married or not even trying to date. We would always send each other our location, and we'd be like, here's our date, here's this guy's name and phone number, we're meeting here at this time, here's my location. And we would share each other our location so that we could, you know, have a safety, because you never know when someone's gonna be a fucking weirdo. Nothing bad ever happened, but that's what we would always do just in case, because being a woman on a dating app can be scary, because people will use it to do bad things. squad goals. Seriously, we actually, my friend group, I have 2 friend groups, that we have an app called Life 360 that we can track each other on all the time. So like I can see when my friend is driving, how fast she's going. When she, like I can, it has a thing that says like, if you left now, this is how long it would take to where you want to get to their location. And you can do this through different apps. Like you can share your Snapchat location. If you have iPhone, you can share your iPhone locations. Life 360 is free up to a certain point. And then if you want to add more people, I think it's no longer free, but it's a nice app to have. Yeah, I have it with my family too. I have like multiple groups on there for different people. Your advice on being able to communicate everything with your partner is the best advice you've ever given me. Oh, thank you, Zahir. I'm glad. Communication is key. It really is. A lot of people, I know it's like the answer I give for a lot of questions that people have, like, how do I solve this? And it's literally just communicating. Even if it's like, it doesn't even have to be like a romantic partner. It can be literally any situation in your life can be just solved with proper communication. Does it always mean that the other party is going to have proper communication skills? No. Unfortunately, I've had many times in work instances, professional instances, where the other person just did not fucking know how to communicate and they didn't care to try, which is always irritating. But for a romantic partner, that should be a two-way street. That it should absolutely not be a one-way street. You should be able to 100% communicate with your partner and talk to them about anything. So yeah, but I'm glad that it's been helpful to hear. But yeah, communicate everything with them. Do you know how many times I snap RJ that I'm pooping? Communicate everything. Okay, you don't have to do that, but I know a lot of people who do. Send poop snaps to their friends or their partner or whoever. Everything. Anyway, I also like Life 360 Mystique. That one day I sent you that stuff. I didn't know what time you'd be home from work. Thank you, Kaylin. And I kept checking Life 360 because I knew you had a meeting somewhere else. And I kept checking, like, where is she? Why isn't she home yet? I want her to be home already. And I was like, I need her to be home so she could see the thing. And I like checked it like every 5 minutes for like an hour. And I could see you driving. And I could see where you would stop at intersections. And that's how in-depth Life 360 is. Because it'll show you their speed. And then you can watch them stop at like a stoplight. And then you can watch them pick speed back up. It is like hardcore GPS navigational settings. Anyway, I don't do that all the time. I only do it sometimes. Or like if I know RJ's coming home from work and he's picking up food, I'll check it and be like, when are you gonna come home with food? I don't do it all the time. Or like one time I think I needed your address and you weren't responding and I didn't know it yet and I didn't have it saved. I just like went on Life 360 and was like, boop, take me to Mystique's location. It helps. I did that with my friend on Snapchat. I didn't remember her address, so I just like went on her Snapchat, saw her location on Snapchat and went, take me there. So Tasha's fine. Okay, cool. I know I've called you Tasha before, but sometimes I feel like I shouldn't. Okay. Let me read this through first. Okay. How can I tell if they like me and are hitting on me, or if they're just being nice? I don't want to ruin the friendship I have, but it's gotten to the point where I am so confused about my feelings and their intentions. Alright, so TheAnimeAthlete true. This one, again, we were just kind of talking about how communication can solve a lot of things. You're allowed to ask them. You can just be straight up with them. And I'm sure, you know, they might be thinking the same thing. Like, you know, is this person being really nice to me or are they hitting on me? I don't know if you're reciprocating it or like how you're responding, what it looks like. So it's kind of hard to tell. But just ask. I think honestly, it can be scary. And again, this is another thing with practicing being vulnerable. You have a friendship, so you don't want to ruin that. But I think it's okay. And you can give an example too. You can just be like, hey, when you said this, to me it came off as you flirting with me. Was that your intention, or am I reading it wrong? I am not angry or feeling any which way it leans. I'm just curious. That is a way that you can word it. You're like, they said something, you thought it was flirty, you're not sure if it is. You can just straight up ask, hey, you said this. I'm not sure if you meant it in a flirty way or not. Either way, I am happy, but I just want to know that I am reading this correctly. That is a fair statement for you to ask someone. That does not make it positive or negative or anything for the other person. It is just being straight up, I don't know if this is what you mean. Either answer is fine with me. I would just like to know, so I'm no longer confused. I think that is a fair sentiment to ask of someone. If they say, no, I'm not flirting with you, you can say, okay, cool. And then you can just continue being friends, and then you know that that's not the case. If they say, yes, they are flirting with you, perhaps that gives them an opening to, you know, make a move. So either way, if you word it that way, it should be good ending either way. Hopefully. Obviously, I can't 100% guarantee that, but the hope is if you give okay for either one. Communicate. Zahir gets it! Supersonic can be super effective. You just want to make sure you don't make them feel trapped. So if you give them an out of, I am happy with either outcome of this answer, I just need to know what your intention is behind it. If you're not making them feel trapped to say, oh no, they think I'm flirting with them, now we can't be friends, or oh no, they think we're just friends and I've been flirting with them this whole time. If you give them an out, hopefully it'll be okay. I feel like I gotta tell the whole story about, but that's not, oh, that's fair. I understand. I'm assuming it was you that asked this then, and you're not afraid to show that like it's not anonymous. But yeah, that is the hope, that if you can make them feel not trapped and give okay of either way. I don't like I said, I don't know if it's reciprocated. If it's not and they say they are flirting with you, you can just be like, you know, I just kind of want to be friends. You know, there's easier ways to let them down if it is not reciprocated. So I don't know if you want to reciprocate it or not. It can also depend on their maturity levels of how they take it. In my opinion, my non-professional opinion of not making them feel trapped and letting them know that either way is okay will make things less afraid for them, and also hopefully not ruin any friendship built. I hope I'm not wrong, because that would make me sad to give you bad advice. I'm not trying to. So the next one, I'm leaving this one open for chat to answer, because I think we'll have some creative answers with this one. But chat, be ready to share your opinions on this next very, very difficult question. It is, any tips on dealing with Jonathan R5000? Chat, you may proceed. What are your tips for dealing with Jonathan? I think giving him, what the fuck, Matt? Oh, pet. I've told a friend I find them attractive and put it out in the open to make it easier to get over it if it wasn't reciprocated or positive as they do. We are still very good friends. Hey, there you go. Flirt with him. I love John. Run! Very different answers. Tell him that he's the apple of your eye. I think if you give him hot Genshin Mihoyo mommies, you can make Jonathan happy. That's a good way to deal with Jonathan. Says Zahir. Yes, see, there you go. I was right. Hot Mihoyo mommies. Kill him in Among Us. That's one way to make him not talk. Kafka swag is always good. Yes. All I have next to me is my coffee from this morning. That's room temperature, and I'm gonna have a sip. I give you hot Genshin moms. You give me the dads! I'm so excited for Luca to come out. Yes. What's my professional opinion on Jonathan? I think giving Jonathan credit where credit is due with being a good mod and then doing fun games with him like Genshin, and we haven't played Honkai yet, but I use his Clara all the time. Is a good way to make your local Jonathan happy. That is my professional opinion. If I could give you more wishes, I would. Luca Riz. I was just telling you that I plan to get an Ito mouse pad. I've been wanting to for a while. I might just order it now. I could pull it up. This might scar some of you. There's an Ito mouse pad I want that is like a booby mouse pad of Ito's chesticles. It is the boo-boo one! I want one. Let me find one. I don't want one with nipples though. That's weird. That one makes me uncomfortable. Let me find it though. Here. Ito Booba mouse pad. No, yes! My eyes. I don't want him happy. Well, then you could do the opposite of what I said. Jonathan! People leave. So this is how not to make your Jonathan happy. Oh, look, this one's hidden! I'm not revealing that one on stream. The one with nipples, I know, the one with nipples makes me uncomfy. I wonder if that's the hidden one. That one make me very uncomfy, though. I don't want a nipple one. There is a nipple version. I do want this for my room, though. I can also get a Luca poster. I don't have any room here, which is where all my posters are, which I know seems kind of backwards because most people put them behind them so stream can see them. But I like looking at them and seeing them while I'm working on stuff. Link? You want the nipple link? Oh god. I'll do open link in new tab, hide it, and then copy and paste the link so you can have it. Here's your nipple Ito mouse pad. Mayhaps. Horny jail. Don't enable the bad behavior. Have you met my chat? It isn't dudes here. It's Ito. That's why I didn't want the nipple one, because having a nipple man as my mouse pad feels weird, but I'll have the one with the squishy chesticles. We lost a brother. Oh, I love you guys. You're funny. You make me laugh. Never mind. Now you've been cursed with the link here. But you know, maybe Denise likes it. Free the nipples, says RJ. My fiance's like, yeah, bro, get the nipple one. Me, I uncomfy with the nipple one. Fiance, get the nipple mouse pad. And that, friends, that is the sign of a good relationship. Welcome to the shit show. Bookmarking for later. Can I borrow your Riz? RJ's name is Remy. Yes. Remy J. It is what you think. I believe from what he told me that was a nickname of his in high school. Of, you know, kids being mean. But he just kept it Remy Shimmy. But yes, if you see a Remy J in chat, that is RJ. Learning a lot about RJ. How to type something so bad. Is it gonna get you timed out from chat if you type it? What will you pay for it? RJ can't be giving his Riz out for free. If you bully him enough, he might make a in-person appearance right here. You could see we have shit in our hallway right now because we've been repainting our kitchen. Your wedding expenses? Ooh. RJ, I think you should give him some of your Riz if he wants to pay for a wedding. We need to grab beer soon? We probably can soon-ish. You gotta come to my Stardew party. Why you gotta be busy? Yeah, I shouldn't say we're gone. I'm gone. Have things going on. Oh, second weekend of August, cash-in, is RJ softball tournament. Yellow. Or are you just saying hello? Second weekend of August is RJ's softball tournament. There will be much drinking that day, and it'll be an all-day thing on like a Saturday. Get on your knees and tell me you love me. Pays for wedding. But second weekend of August, cash in. Obviously he'll be playing, but there'll be breaks in between because it's a tournament. There will be beers. And Katie and Kyle went last year, so that is a possibility. Otherwise, weekdays aren't always impossible. Sometimes they are. I'd be game. There you go. I was gonna tell Katie about it soon too, so. It is definitely drunk softball. The first few games might be sober, but by the end of the night, it's drunk softball. Kickball's always drunk kickball, yeah. Usually the single games aren't drunk. Maybe they'll drink a little bit, but they usually don't have their beers to the end. For the tournament, that's a different story. There are beers had throughout the tournament. However, there were food trucks last year and they were delicious. I had like 3 walking tacos. Were they like authentic Hispanic walking tacos? Absolutely not. They were fucking Midwest white people walking tacos, but they were still good. And I had 3 of them. We can move on to the next question. Again, chat, you are welcome to answer some of this. Cheese curds too. You're welcome to answer some of this, as I do not have a good answer for this because it is not something that I do. And I'll be honest, it makes me uncomfortable. Thank you, Jonathan. I was just about to do that. But this question is, how do you dirty talk with your partner? I don't. Kieran was taking our pictures and she said make each other laugh, and I pointed at RJ and said haha you're a loser, and he pointed at me and said haha you're ugly. So that's our banter. It's not a thing we do, and it's not something that makes me comfortable. So I don't have a great answer for this one, but if other people in chat feel like they want to share, you absolutely can. This is probably just another thing that includes being vulnerable with your partner and a certain level of dirty talk from a muscle mommy is something that you might just have to ask them what they like, because same thing can happen with sexual preferences. You should ask your partner what they like or dislike. Depends on who you are. Yeah, that was my thought. Like, how explicitly dirty do you want? Because for me, it is 0% explicitly dirty. You could, I mean, if you need ideas, you can read a lot of novels that are pinpointed towards women. Will probably give you some good ideas. A lot of smut. That'll have a lot of it. If you need ideas. Again, you might not be directing it towards a woman. I don't know gender, how this is working with dirty talking with your partner. But fanfics and, you know, some smut might give you a good idea. When I was young, I didn't like the idea of dirty talk. I don't like it. If you need recommendations for smut, you can ask Mystique. I've heard her audiobooks. She's not lying. If you're older, I grew up to be more of a masochist. I love you, Jonathan. I could see you going to a convention, seeing a hot girl cosplaying a hot character and paying her to step on you. And I say that in the most loving way possible, and I am not judging you for it. There you go, male or female oriented. She'll give you either one. So, if you need what is smut? The easiest way to explain it is, you know, maybe written porn. 50 Shades of Grey. That's smut. Welcome, Cashin. Are you enjoying the conversation? But yeah, smut is dirty reading. I would love a tall woman to pin me against the wall away from the floor. Soft smut would be teen novels, yeah. Oh boy, says RJ. They asked about dirty talk, and I said that I don't have answers, so I'm letting chat answer it, because that's not a thing that I do. Yes, literature. So smut is written porn. Erotica.com. Shield your precious eyes. Let my fantasies be. I don't know if RJ has an opinion. If he does, he can give it. Or if he wants to give it here, I don't know if he wants to have it in chat. But yeah, and like I said, I told him he was a loser and then he called me ugly during our photo shoot. So that's how our conversations go. But yes. Not a wild one over here. We left our house and I left a candle burning in my office. That's happened to us before too. Was it away from stuff? RJ, how did you riz Carly? I mean, I can give my side of the story, which people have probably heard enough, but RJ, if you would like to give your side, feel free. You could come in here and do it too if you don't want to type it. I'm indifferent either way, because I'll see you in like 40 minutes out there. I'm probably gonna do my nails, because as you can see, I have none right now. Yes, I need an expert. RJ, they would like a man to tell them how to riz. I don't know, I can't remember. Step 1. Wear a bro tank with a donut on it. Step 2. Realize the fact that everyone else on the volleyball team is dating except you and this other girl. It's because he's old. Is Riz just jizz with an R? I mean, literally speaking, yes. Wait, a woman's heart is through her stomach? Jonathan. Riz is basically, you know, someone who's really smooth with the ladies, I guess. Not even necessarily with the ladies, but they're very good at flirting. What do you mean, no? It's not literally jizz. Charisma, there you go. Wait, a woman's heart's through her stomach. Yes, food. This is a fact, though. Hello, Captain Corvo. If anyone else would like to fill out the form, there are currently no more questions. I'll stay live for a little bit longer, see if anything comes in, but we can keep talking about Riz. I don't know how to Riz anymore. Honestly, same. If I had to, like, flirt with someone right now, for whatever reason, I don't think I could do it. So, alcohol is the key to Riz. Not a great message for chat, but you know, it might make it easier. Liquid courage. We did go to the bars our first date. We did. Also that, just be a decent man. I'll tell y'all. Our first date. We were walking around downtown. We walked past a dude, and RJ was, I don't know if he was drunk, but he had some drinks in him. He was at the very least buzzed. We were walking to our next bar, and a guy looks at us walking side by side, and he looks at RJ and goes, "Hell yeah, man. She thick. Get it." And RJ looked him dead in the eyes, and he said, "Show her some fucking respect." That's Riz. So yes, just being a decent man. It is a WRJ. I remember that moment was very defining for me when he did that. I was like, oh, he's probably gonna be like, oh, hell yeah, brother. No, he looked the dude while drunk. Shut up, Mystique. He looked at this dude while drunk directly into his eyes and said, show her some fucking respect. And I was like, oh. So there's Riz. I was like, no one's ever done that. We love a feminist man. Hell yeah. Jonathan. It is respectable. No guy has ever done that for me before other than RJ. Mystique. No, I was wearing a tight-ass denim skirt that night, I think. That I had to wiggle out of that so hard, they weren't dropping. It was a workout, because that was a full denim skirt, and it did not stretch. I didn't need to know that. I'm not saying that in a sexual way. It was just fucking hard to get on and off that skirt. It doesn't fit me anymore. boys know the sidewalk rule. Also that. I believe he was following it that night too. Trying to think of other things from our first date. We did sleep in the same bed that night and nothing happened. I'm serious too. Like, I'm not just saying that. Yeah, you didn't. Yes, Mystique gets it. See, wasn't even being sexual with the tight skirt. You gotta like literally like pull down and jump up at the same time because it don't stretch. And it was like shaped, so like it was smaller on the top for your waist and then a little bit wider for your hips and your butt. So getting it past your hips and your butt was impossible because the top part was thinner. So yeah. And squeeze your butt. Yep, you just gotta... There was no going to the bathroom with that skirt on because it would take like 20 minutes. Thick. Thick with multiple C's. We got another question, and chat, again, if you have answers for this one, feel free to shout them out, but I don't think anyone's gonna have an answer, because I think this is a problem for most of my chatters. Tips on gacha addiction. That's where you hover and hope you can get in the... Mystique gets it. Mystique gets it. I got this one, says Cashin. Tips for gacha addiction. What the fuck is a gacha? So it's spelt different. You're close. Credit card, no, Cashin. No. So a gacha game is like what I've been doing with Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. It's where there's a banner where you can make a wish for a character and you'll randomly get things off of that. So you can get like level up items or you can get new characters. You might have seen me do it before. You can get credits in game to make those wishes, which are basically gambling. It's basically a random gamble roll. Of what you may get, and so there's certain things that people want in the game, so they'll keep rolling and wishing and essentially gambling to get that specific character or item that they want. And again, you can get things in the game, but yes, it's a microtransaction, to put it in easy term. You can pay money to keep getting more wishes. So when Cashin said credit card with no limit, no. Kafka. Yeah, it's a casino. There's a good casino simulator, but you spend money or in-game currency to get units, characters that you want. Yep. So some people get like really intense with that. I know Tystra's told me he's spent hundreds of dollars on singular banners before, which a banner usually lasts a week, sometimes two. So you only have a limited amount of time to get the specific character or item on the banner. So if you don't do it in that amount of time, there's a good chance you won't get that character. So people will spend money to make sure they can get a specific character or item or whatever. So they will spend real life money to have more chances to gamble on that banner. I've never spent money on a game. Me neither. I have never spent money on Genshin or Honkai Star Rail. I've never spent money on a gacha. I think I bought one skin once for Dead by Daylight, and that was the Attack on Titan skin. Recently in Dragon Ball Legends, I just saw someone on Twitter spend $2,500 for a unit to the max level. Yeah, so people will drop big money on gachas. It is literally a gambling addiction, so. And a lot of people in this chat enjoy gachas, which is why I was like, chat, if you have answers, feel free to answer it. But I knew a lot of people didn't. Oh, it's more. It's 3.5. So people will drop dollars for gacha games. And that's why they're so successful. Even though there is a free-to-play aspect of it, if people really want something, they'll pay the money for it. I was really close to spending money on Genshin, but my internet timed out, so I dodged a bullet. You're lucky. You're lucky. It is. It is a waste of money to most people. People who are really addicted to the game, they don't find it as a waste of money. They find it as an investment into something that they really enjoy. So, aim for one copy and dip. Also, yeah, if you're a content creator, you can get it back. If you're a big content creator and your game or your main stuff is that game, you can spend the money on that game to get the best shit for that game so you can keep playing being a top player, and you'll make the money back simply because you're a really popular person on the internet, because you'll get other money from stuff. So you'll see a lot of big creators drop big bucks because they can. Grush and Truth are good examples where they spend a lot and they get that money back easily. Yeah. Figure that normally I have to spend $60 on a game, so if I'm free to play and something I want pops up, I'm willing to spend up to around that amount. That's fair. So yeah, otherwise the games are completely free. You can play to get like more roles in the game, but if you don't have enough, you can use real money to get more. Proud of you, Jonathan. I wrote a whole contract and now it won't save. No! Can you copy and paste it all into like a different file so that at least the text is saved somewhere? That fucking sucks. Also, if you don't want to pay multiple dollars a month to contracting websites where it whites up the contract for you, if you get a basic one and you save it as a PDF, your girl can edit that in Adobe Illustrator, which is what I did. I got a basic creator contract and I was paying a monthly fee to keep that and edit it. But then I found out that I could just edit it in Adobe, so I ended my contract, or I ended my monthly subscription. And now I can just edit it myself. ChatGPT. It's pretty good for actually coming up with some basic bare bones stuff. I'll grind like my life depends on it to get 1 or 2 copies of the unit. This is facts. I've never met someone grind gacha games the way Jonathan does. It's impressive. Well, let me save it in a PDF or anything. Can you just leave your computer up? Or is it gonna be... is it gonna like crash? E4 Kafka, which is why in Genshin 4.0 and up, many mommy waifus are coming up. So I'm gonna grind the fuck to get all of them. I respect that. Oh, you need to send it? Well, if it's saved on your computer at least, or at least on your computer, hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. John plays a lot of gachas. Like, a lot. I don't know how he keeps up with all the dailies. I don't even do dailies for 2 gachas. It's just a... Ooh. Rip. Big rip. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. That almost happened to me today on the video I was working on. I moved all of the files to a different file and my computer like wasn't like connecting them. Because if you take a video file and just move it to a different file, Adobe Premiere will be like, this file is lost. Please locate it and relink it. And it wasn't letting me relink them. And I was like over halfway done with the video and I was like, if I have to go back and redo all of this editing, I'm going to scream. And thankfully I finally got it all to relink and I got it to save properly. But 9 gachas. That's my boy. That's my boy Jonathan. Living that gacha life. Also, I'm sorry. I need to clean the shit out of my room. It's a mess right now. I try to like hide shit. Like this is all my jewelry stuff over here that's usually in the cupboard. There's a bunch of shit over here that's just kind of a throwaway place. I've been gone a lot. There's a big whiteboard in the back. I know, but I like having clean, organized office space. My room can be a mess where I sleep, but where I work, I like to try and keep it organized, and it's not the most right now. You fixed it? Proud. I say, hopefully if you just like, you know, leave it and walk away and come back, it'll just, you know, figure itself out. Sometimes I have to do that even with our printer. I'm gonna tell you to clean your room. You can clean it when you're done streaming. Yeah, I just want my office clean. I have a shitload of laundry to do, like in my actual bedroom. But my workspace, it bothers me when it's dirty. So I have a lot of papers that need to be filed. I have running medals from my 5Ks that I haven't hung up yet. They're just sitting over here. I was so happy on Monday when I got into my office workspace. And it was just like so clean. There used to be like 3 PCs and 3 monitors for each, like 1 monitor for each PC, but they didn't all fit. So like there's a 1 monitor like stacked on another PC because it's a very small desk space, and it's kind of a broom closet where I work anyway, which is fine. I don't really care. I'm only there once a week. But when I walked in and saw that it was just 1 tiny little PC, it's small. I love it. I don't know if I've told you, Cashin, that little tiny PC is so fucking cute. It's so small. just one little PC, 2 real nice monitors and a keyboard. I was like, oh. It was so nice to just not have shit all over the desk. And there were still some things on the desk, and I just took them and put them in the drawer. I would love to get a drawer organizer, because that did bother me too, that there was like no drawer organizer in the drawer. But I was like, I just need this off the desk. Oh, it was so nice to not have shit everywhere. Maybe I'll bring in like a little pen cup, because there's like no pens back there. Send me a link. Bet. Cash-in is my plug at work. Let's see. You do not need a $72 one from Uline. Why you keep hitting my weird comments? Because they're funny. I like this one because it's green. Boop. Honey also says that its price keeps dropping. Also, it's showing makeup as a thing, but it also is just a drawer organizer too. Also, it doesn't have to be that one. If it's green, I'll be happy. We done spent 10K on work money this week already. Let's just do it. So yeah, this is a $21 Amazon organizer. Because then I can have like a compartment for the photography stuff and then a spot for like tape and pens, things like that. And again, it doesn't have to be this one. I just like green. And that would make me peepo happy. For the office drawer that I work in once a fucking week for 3.5 hours. It's stackable too. That's cool. Yeah, it looks like there's a smaller one that you can get. Again, it can be smaller. I just like that it's green. That's why I picked that one out. But yeah, I need to clean my office space. I don't want to talk about my closet in here. It was my art and cosplay closet, and it still is. But a lot of shit was just like thrown in there. I need to go through it and actually organize it, because then I'll be able to, 1, fit more things in it, 2, it'll make me happier to open it and not hate what I look at. As for links because I don't want to think. Well, then just do that one. I'm just letting you know if that one is too expensive. I can always pick another one too. I can also send it to you in Discord. That's probably easier. Yeah. What would you do if I sent you the Ito mouse pad? Can you imagine that being on the company card? I would die if we put the Ito booby mouse pad on the fucking company card. I already made the Luca banner, the background on those computer monitors. I just think it's funny at this point because I'm never there. I'm never there. You fiend. Hey, I quit this job. Probably hang the mouse pad on the wall. I quit this job a couple years ago because I fucking hated my life so bad that I had to go to the doctor, and they told me I wasn't sick. I was severely depressed, and that is why I was having physical ailments, and that work was the reason I was so depressed, and that in order to keep doing my job, I had to medicate myself with antidepressants, and that is why I fucking quit. And now I'm back there again. But it's not as bad as last time because I'm contracted. I don't work a full work week, and I'm only there once a week for like 4 hours. A little high sit, right? So now I don't mind fucking with them a little bit. Ask your office neighbor what Jay said about his purchase request for the lights. Did Jay shoot down the lights? And also there are better people there now, I will admit. Because Cash and you weren't there when I worked there. You started just after I left, I think. So, for a while, the only people that were under the age of 30 were just me and a certain buyer that we both know has his own office now. But then Katie got there. Now Dana's there. There's a couple other people there now that it's not just a bunch of old white men. Yep. She started there shortly after I did. I do love Katie. I love that the managers are afraid of her. That brings me so much joy. We love Katie. So not Sister Katie, but the Katie that helped with the bathtub shoot. That Katie. Yeah, the managers are afraid of her, and I think that's great. They call her for help, and they're afraid to because she's intimidating, and I'm like, yes. The annoyance in my voice, yeah. I like being able to work from home. I don't mind the work I do, and I even explicitly told them that when I first left. I was like, I enjoy the work that I do. I don't hate what I do, but the environment is making me want to unalive myself. 2 stories. I can't believe it's not Friday. It feels like Friday. We just had a lunch date on Monday, and now you have 2 stories for me? Also, did anyone get mad that we ordered pizza just for ourselves and not everyone else? Because if they did, good. The 4 of us at work got pizza. And yes, I knew it. I fucking knew people would be mad about it. 4 of us got pizza and didn't tell the rest of the office. And so we just ordered it for ourselves. We didn't order enough to share. RJ was very happy with the leftovers, by the way. Of course it was Pete. I can just hear him being like, "You guys got fucking pizza? Why didn't I hear about this?" He didn't ask. It's literally just the 4 of us on teams like, so what do we want? We want this and this. Well, we should also get this. Just on our teams messaging, just the 4 of us. And then I sat in there and ate it by myself for a while because everyone else had to finish what work they were doing and I didn't have shit to do. So I was just sitting in the lunchroom by myself with 2 pizzas and a bunch of and a side dish, eating it by myself. But yeah, I can just see. I know it was there. I'm sorry. Well, you were busy. You told us that you had a thing to do. Katie and Dana just, I don't think they were allowed to get off the clock until like 12:15 or noon or whenever it was, because it was like 11:45 when it got there. So the girl at the office none of us like is currently using our boss's office where our boss. What? Did she get that approved, or is she just using it like, I'm gonna do this? That's crazy. She calls people in the office for assistance. How does she still have this job? From what you've told me, everyone fucking hates her. I should check to see if I got any more. Okay, I did get another one. Sit at your desk. No one talks to you! Mood. I used to work at someone else's desk when I first started working for this company again because I was covering for her, and then I got my own little broom closet, and I gotta say, I like being tucked away because no one really comes into my office except Cashin, which is fine. You know what I mean? Pop-up script to mess with her? He can do it. He can and will do it. Anyway, we have another question that I'm not sure again that I have an actual answer for. They always bother me. I know they do. You're always running around doing something. No one fucking talks to me. I think it's because they know I kind of hate almost everyone there. But this one. How do you handle stomach issues? I've been struggling with stomach pains. So this one is a difficult one for me to answer because it is a medical issue. And it could be a variety of things. One, if you're a female, oh god, there's a lot of things that it could cause. Not that male-born people can't have stomach issues. There's just a lot of other, organs down there when you're born female, have a uterus, things like that. That can also cause a lot of stomach pain. So this is difficult for me to answer without a lot of details. Though I can tell you some things that have caused myself stomach pains in the past, and maybe one of them is yours, but I would talk to a doctor for this one. Use it once because people kept bothering me with questions, so I could actually work. That's fair. You're not licensed doctors or medical experts, we're just giving advice. Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you some examples of things that have caused me to have stomach pains in the past. That does not mean that is the answers to what is causing you stomach pain. But you might find something that might relate, you might not. I would talk to a doctor about it. But some things that have caused me stomach pain. Constipation, which may or may not be related to IBS. So there's 2 forms of IBS. There's IBS-C and IBS-D. IBS-C is constipation. IBS-D is diarrhea. So with IBS-C, you can't go, like, ever. And oftentimes it might feel like you need to keep going, or like you're not fully getting it all out. I'm sorry if this is gross to anyone, but like this is how it works. This is the human body. Again, this is kind of weird, but depending on what type of poop you have can also show you this too. If it's really soft, you're probably okay. If you have like little pebbles that kind of all fall apart, that's likely constipation, or you're dehydrated, or something's not going right. Or if you feel like you can't go, but you need to go, it's always a joke, but seriously, a good first step is drinking enough water. Yeah, honestly. I shit myself once trusting a fart. See, there's also that too. That never happens to me because I'm like permanently constipated. Some things that help me. Coffee will make you poop, most likely. I also take, you can get Metamucil fiber gummies. There's orange flavored ones that really don't taste that bad. You can use those. And then you can also, I don't remember what it's called, but I have a laxative gummy as well. And the way the laxative gummy works is it's not like you eat it and 30 minutes later you shit your brains out. It's designed so that you take it at night, it can sit in your system, and then in 8 to 12 hours, it'll give you an easier bowel movement. So it's not an instant, you're gonna go shit your brains out. So don't take it right before you go to work because it might hit you while you're at work. But the whole idea is to take it before you go to bed, and then you can wake up and have a decent bowel movement. I take those. I haven't been taking them. I should. You can also, I've had those meds for colonoscopy. You'll be very cleaned out. Don't go that route unless nothing else works, because that'll do it. What is the other thing? There's like a powder mix. I can't remember what it's called. It's a white powder mix that you can add to pretty much any beverage. Dissolves very easily. Zero taste. I have put it in milk. I've put it in coffee. I've put it in juice. I've put it in just plain water. You cannot fucking taste it. It is not... Miralax. Thank you. That is what it's called. Miralax. There's over-the-counter ones too, but Miralax is the popular name. You will not fucking taste it. Literally at all. And it does not make you poop. It just makes your poop softer, so it's easier to poop. It says, I'm female, it feels like bloating and gas, but significant back pain. So that could be constipation. Again, I cannot tell you for certain that that's what it is. You'll have to ask a doctor. Spinach can help. Different foods can help. With IBS-C, constipation, I found out the things that are usually supposed to be high in fiber and make you poop can make you more constipated. So things like beans can make you actually more constipated when you have IBS-C, which is just a fucking shit show. No pun intended. But those are supposed to be foods that are like high in fibers and help you go, and it can make it worse if you have IBS-C. Again, I don't know if I have IBS-C. I'm pretty certain I do. And I know beans are my favorite, and I can never fucking shit. You guys are getting to know a lot about me tonight. But I've talked before that I take laxatives and fiber gummies. But there is a while where it was like bad, and I had to make sure I took my Miralax, fiber gummies, and my laxative gummy every day. I lost weight too. Not necessarily losing weight, but like losing that water weight and bloating. Put Miralax in my bean burrito. Defy the odds. Could be that. There could be other things going on too. Since you said you are female, you could have other underlying conditions. Again, these are things that I have, and I'm not using my examples saying like, you're just like me, or, oh, this is all about me. I'm using my examples as that's the only thing I know, and I don't want to give you a medical diagnosis without you talking to someone, but I just want to give examples of things that I understand. I have endometriosis and PCOS. So endometriosis is when your endometrial lining, which is usually just on the inside of your uterus, for whatever reason, doctors don't know why, your endometrial lining starts growing outside your uterus. It can grow on different organs. Most often you can see it growing around people's bladders or colons, because that's in the general same area, or their other, like their large intestine. And that can cause bloating. It can cause pain. It can be sharp or dull pain. It can kind of come and go. Some days it might be there, some days it might not be. But that could be a cause. And also PCOS has very similar side effects. Not side effects, but symptoms. That's the word I was looking for. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. That is when cysts form on the outside of your ovaries. Your ovaries, I can't remember the technical term. Your ovaries have little follicles on the outside of them, and they'll do different things through your cycle. But when that goes wrong or your body's not entirely doing it correctly, they'll form little cysts, and those cysts will live on your ovaries, and they can burst, and it is incredibly painful. It can also just cause a lot of bloating and pain in general as well. But that'll, if you have a cyst burst, you'll fucking know, because I've had it happen, and the only reason I rate that on a 9.9 out of 10 on the scale of pain is because I did not lose consciousness. But I'm pretty sure I was pretty close, because it was blacking in the edges of my vision because it was so painful. However, to know whether or not you need a hospital visit, if you have a fever or you throw up, that is a sign of infection. That means the cyst had bacteria in it. Otherwise, they are usually just fluid-filled cysts. There is no real medical alert. It is just super painful. So if you live in America and you don't want to go to the ER, unless you absolutely have to, unless you have a fever or throwing up, you don't really need to. Well, you should, but if it's a pressure, it's probably need to poop. If it's a dull pain, it might be cramping of some kind. If it's a sharp pain, doctor visit, yes. You could also have kidney stones. I've had friends that had dull pain that turned into sharp pain that was kidney stones. You could have some other kind of stomach or bowel irritation. You might have an allergy to something that you don't know. It took my friend a really long time to realize that she had celiacs and couldn't have grains or flour or wheat. I had another friend that found out that she couldn't drink beer because she was allergic to the way that wheat gets processed in beer. You could be lactose intolerant. You can develop allergies as you age too, true. I don't have an allergy to red meat, but I don't have a tolerance for red meat anymore. So now if I eat red meat, that will make me poop. If I ever really need to go, I can have red meat and it'll happen within 30 minutes because my stomach no longer tolerates it. So you might have some foods now that your stomach just doesn't tolerate well anymore. Top choices are probably dairy and gluten, but oddly enough, if you live in the US, the food actually makes you sick. Yeah, because the US fucking hates its citizens because they put shit in everything. Again, no pun intended. But there could be a large variety of things that can be causing this. It is best to go talk to someone about your symptoms so they can really figure out, is this an allergy? Is this a uterine thing? Is there some other muscle spasm going on? Is there another underlying condition? People with celiacs or dairy has gone away overseas. Oh, you mean like in other countries where there's like not additives and everything? Yes, yeah. So you could have developed an intolerance for some food, which when your stomach is upset, you can just get more gas, which will cause you bloating and pain as well. If you do think it's just gas, you can get these pills called Benos, which will help deteriorate that gas. The pause always kills me. I gotta wait, because there's a delay. But it could be a variety of things. It could be female issues. It could be gastric issues. It could be pooping issues. It could be digestive issues. Stomach pain is a difficult thing to figure out. But if you tell a doctor your symptoms, and they'll likely do like a palpitation exam to see if anything's wrong, if anything's tender in one certain spot, things like that. That'll help them figure it out too. And they can test you. My intolerance is that I can't eat canned corned beef. Really? Are you serious? That's wild. I haven't tried to eat any since I found out that I can't really have beef anymore. But generally beef that's more processed doesn't bother me because it's got so much filler in it. So like I can still eat burgers from McDonald's because it's not a high beef concentration. It's a lot of other fillers. So that doesn't bother me. So I bet I can still have canned corned beef because there's probably a decent amount of filler in it. Wow, that's interesting. That's wild. I used to love eating canned hash as a child. We would just cook it on our stovetop and I would just eat it. It was like eating bacon and potatoes all in one. But yeah, the more processed beef is, the more likely I can stomach it. The more true it is to being beef. I can't. So like I can't really do steak. We went out for burgers when I was at Genesis, and like probably about 45 minutes after we got done eating, I was like, oh no. I actually had to go back to our Airbnb and lay down and take a nap. I had to leave the convention. But yeah, Anyway, could be a variety of issues. And I cannot, excuse me, I cannot tell you exactly what it is. So I am not a doctor. But those are things that have caused me stomach pains. And chat has given some things too. There's a lot of things it could be. And your doctor will help you figure it out. What is the best plan of action? If it's just a dietary change, if it's a medication, stuff like that. Because for my PCOS and endometriosis, I take birth control. I used to take a combination estrogen and progesterone because my PCOS causes me to have hyperandrogenism, which makes it difficult for my body to produce female hormones, but it overproduces male hormones, which makes me sick. But now I can't take estrogen anymore because I'm at risk for stroke because I have migraines. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But now I'm just on progesterone only, and that is actually working just fine. I've had 0 side effects from that. I take it every day, and I've been given permission to just keep taking it. I don't have to stop taking it to actually have my period. Before I would, take it like a regular birth control for a certain set of time and then have a week off so that I can have a cycle. But since I have so many fucked up issues with my PCOS and endometriosis, she was like, why don't you just keep taking it? You can just take it without like going on a cycle. And I was like, okay. So now I just don't get my period, which is glorious. Yeah, I'm straight pee pill. And I will not have breaks. I get to keep taking it. The pill I'm on is called Slind, which is actually really cool. When I opened it, it's the first birth control I've ever had that the placebo pills, there's only like 5. Actually, I think there's only 4. Most of the time it gives you 3 weeks and then a week of placebo pills. This one gives you like 3.5. So I also get more pills per packet. Double dose, I could not. I also forgot to take it for a while. But I can tell that it's giving me less migraines because I did have really bad migraines when I was taking progesterone and estrogen. I had a migraine for multiple days when I first started it. And then anytime I got my period, when I would go off of it, I would also have a migraine going off the estrogen. And then I'd have headaches again going back on it. Now just progesterone only. I haven't gotten any headaches if I go off of it. And I don't have any headaches on it, which is nice. Mine didn't even come with placebo pills. Lucky. I saw the RJ. He's probably getting ready for bed or something. But yeah, I've had 0 issues with this one, so if it keeps going well, I might just keep taking that. Because we're also worried that I was going to have other symptoms come back, like having acne and brain fog and stuff like that. But none of that has come back. The progesterone has been enough. So I just have like no estrogen in my body, guys. You give me natural pee. I heard that natural pee is actually better than the chemical version. So I think the reason she put me on this one is because it also has acne fighting stuff in it. So it can help keep my skin clear, because that was one of the things that my hyperandrogenism caused. It's got really bad acne, like painful cystic dime-sized acne all on my chin. And she said that this one that I'm on will help prevent that. So I'm gonna stay on that. But I will be seeing a neurologist to see what's wrong with my brain. Because, if I'm having migraines all the time, we should probably figure out why. It's only been like 10 years of me having migraines constantly. Haven't seen anyone about it. Yours gives you acne? It might be because you're on the natural one. I'm sure mine is like a synthetic one. But it doesn't give me acne. It helps. I have a few acne scars. You can see there's a darker spot right here. You can't really see it on camera because it whites me out, but I do have some through here. So it's the implant and the pills. It might be because you're on 2. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. But the one she gave me, I can give you the name. That's how it's spelled, Slind. But yeah, I have some acne scarring from when it got really bad. And if I ever wear foundation, it's usually just to cover that up. Yep, is that what you're on? Hi, RJ. He says hi, everyone. Zahir. No, Zahir. I'm not answering your question. No. But yeah, obviously my skin's not bad anymore, but you can see there's a few darker spots on my cheek over here. You can see them a little bit because I don't have a ton of makeup on right now. It's mostly over here, and then there's a few over here, but they're kind of right on the line of my jaw, so they don't pop out as much. You're so pretty, thank you. When I get tan, they're really hard to notice, so I've been enjoying being a little bit more tan. It evens out my skin tone, but in the dead of winter, they're pretty there. Which again is not a big deal. I'm not like that insecure about it. It's more just annoying that like it shouldn't have happened. Like my acne in high school was never even that bad. It got bad like when I was 26, 25 maybe is when it got really bad, and that shouldn't happen. And it was literally the worst I've ever had in my life. It wouldn't go away. They were literally dime sized. I had to keep a band-aid on my chin, I remember, over here, and it like hurt to talk because it was right here. Just Minnesota issues. Yeah, turning pasty white in the winter. My foundation finally matches my skin. In fact, it's almost too light now. But in the winter, it's definitely too dark. Doctors do hate us. Or at least a lot of doctors didn't care to research into these issues. More is happening now, which I'm grateful for. I wish more had happened before, though, so I could have a better diagnosis earlier. Because I've had the symptoms since I was probably 16. Since my very first, like, menstruation, I'll say the technical term, I've had issues. Either we're dramatic or we just need a pill. So, do you know where the term hysterectomy came from? The term hysterectomy, which is the removal of the uterus, happened in medieval times because they decided that women were too hysterical. So if women were being dramatic, aka hysterical, they would just remove their uterus because it was what was causing their hysteria. So it's called a hysterectomy. True facts. So they would literally just take women's organs out of them if they thought they were being dramatic. Which probably made it even worse, because that'll fuck up so... Well, I guess if it's just the uterus, it won't. But if they took out the ovaries, you're fucked. Alcohol is medication for hysteria. I mean, yeah. They should have just done weed. They probably didn't have a good source for that, though. In fucking medieval England. Land lobotomies, yeah, just make them brain dead, basically. Not basically, but just stab them in the back of the eyeball. Anyway, where the plug? England needed it. They needed the weed back in the day for hysterical women. Basically, women just speaking, defying men. Defy a man and its hysteria. We're the dramatic ones, though. Anyway, that is all we have for questions tonight. There's been a lot of medical talk. I feel like every time I talk about my uterus, but that's okay. I'm totally fine sharing those stories because I think it's important for people to understand, because a lot of people don't talk about it. Because it's been a whole thing of PCOS, endo, those things causing me to have hyperandrogenism and fucking up my hormones, causing all these other problems. So I had to take these pills, but now I have to take a different one because I might have a stroke because of the other one. So now I'm taking one that will not give me a risk for stroke, and I have to go see a third doctor about it. Like that's how complex it is. So anyway, I love uteruses. I'm glad to hear. I'm also glad, though, that you have enjoyed other relationship advice that I've given. I do my best. Here's a pill. Now take this pill for the side effects of the first pill. Yep. That is the American pharmacy doctorate system, essentially. And this pill for the side effects of the third pill. What do you mean you're suicidal? What do you mean that all of these effects of these other pills are giving you bad brain? How could that possibly happen? Obviously, that's not what happens all the time. I'm exaggerating, but oftentimes you'll see that depression is a side effect for a lot of medications. Let's see who is online. Oh. Should we raid into Flute Loops? We haven't raided into her in a hot minute. Yep, you're correct, Mystique. We had a big conversation about this tonight, sort of, in a way. Just mental health in general. Oh, she has like a audience thing, but I think it's just because she's playing horror games. I don't think it's actually anything inappropriate. I think it might just be maybe a little bit gory. So if you're under 18, you can't watch Flute Loops stream. But we're going to raid into Flute Loops. Hope you've all enjoyed this. It will be the first Monday of next month, not a random Wednesday. I kind of forgot. If you don't remember Flute Loops, she's a VTuber. She is a... what is it? A bunpire, I think is how she does it. A bunny vampire is her thing. Her model. I wasn't saying thing to make fun of her. I just couldn't remember that it was called a model. That's her VTuber model. But go have fun with her. She is a great streamer. She's wonderful. She's very entertaining. Hope you guys enjoy her. Have a good rest of your night. Oh wait, I'll have a raid message. I forgot about that. I forgot about a raid message. I'll write it out for you guys so you can copy and paste it. Ha ha ha. Alright, feel free to copy and paste that as we raid into Flute Loops. What's a raid message? Copy and paste it, and then when we go into her stream, put it in her stream and she'll get a wall of this message. Alright, good night everyone.